In my perspective, is a form of exercise for the body and the mind. It's creativity in a constructive way of living that will enhance our quality of life and health by reducing stress and fostering a sense of following relaxation.
My perspective of art is similar to that of a mirror. It is a reflection of our inner being, and yet something we can't immediately understand.
Art is defined by its origin in the human mind. Imagination plays a key role in making any piece of art. Some people think of art as what happens when your creativity takes a solid form. So, something that is created with imagination and skill, and that is beautiful.
Art can be classified as us. Art is a masterpiece where it helps us to motivate and to share beauty with others. And that is my mission, to spread the beauty to all.
Art. I define art as any human being's creative endeavor that expresses themselves or creates something visually appealing. The visual arts, media, techniques, and history are all introduced to art appreciation. The purpose of the course is to deepen students' understanding of the artistic creation process.
I know to myself that arts are very helpful and vital to an individual, especially in every aspect of our lives. As I see and observe about my horizon about the world of arts, I see it now differently from I see it before.
My idea of art is it is a form of exploration about our imagination and ideas. It is an interpretation of our reality, about how we perceive it, hear it, understand it, and feel it.
Art is everything. If there is no art, everything in this world will be black and white. Color may so brighten our world and help us appreciate its beauty. One of the things that gives our life purpose is art. Through art, we can express who we are, and with that, we can live our lives as we like. No one in this world would ever believe that art is unimportant, since it can be viewed from many distinct viewpoints, allowing us to relate it as artwork in life.
Hi, my name is Ardan Natividad. I'm a full-time visual artist from Pasig City.
So, good afternoon, Sir Arnel. This first question is from Rex. What inspired you to pursue arts? If so, was it still your motivation or did something change?
That's a good question coming from Rex. So, this is a perfect opportunity for me to reminisce about the things that I do a couple of years back. And I remember I love to do scribbles. I love to draw and copy existing illustrations when I was still a kid. In fact, my mother was able to keep some of my illustrations, which I'm still able to keep to myself. These are the Disney illustrations that I did back when I was still 5 years old, if I recall it right. And then when I was in kindergarten, I have this classmate. I will never forget his name. His name is Alfred, and he was really, really good. I mean, I'm not really that good when it comes to art back when I was still a kid, but this kid Alfred is really exceptional. I mean, I really like his illustration, and of course, just any other kid, when you find something interesting and motivating, you would love to be that somebody, right? So there, I ended, joining different competitions, practice different art mediums, back in grade school to high school and then eventually to college. And eventually, with practice, I was able to make it as a full-time visual artist. So there.
So next question. This question is from Florence. Often great artists seems to be outperformed by less skilled artists who are more popular than more skilled. When it comes to artwork, why do you think this happens?
That's a good question, Florence. And in reality, when it comes to art market and the different demographics that buys art from collectors, galleries, and even from artists directly, I think this is very common naman in any other business. Sadly, it's a reality when it comes to most or more popular artists versus more skilled artists. This is just really a matter of how they are being promoted, not.
So, may dumampang motor. Sige, pero tuloy lang tayo, Arnel.
Sige. So not all artists are given the same opportunity or exposure. Okay? So it's also a matter of having the right connections, especially in the world of art, because we have to be honest when it comes to the market and the buyers of these art pieces. There's just really a small fraction in our community that buys art and invests in art, right? I think it's just really 5 to 3% of our population buys art pieces. So, of course, these investors or these buyers or collectors, they would see art. Sometimes it's not just really the content of the art, but also the monetary benefit of buying art. They find it as an investment. Okay, so with heavy media mileage, most of the collectors would always consider the more popular artists versus more skilled artists. But I always believe that no matter who you are, as long as your art is good, you will still be a sellable artist. There.
So, this next question, Colonel, is actually good. This is about political and social issues.
Wow.
So, this question is from Martin. How does your work, being an artist, comment on current social and political issues that our environment currently facing right now? Do you think that a piece of art can solve environment issues?
That's a good question, Martin. I think this is the right message to all the young guns out there. Art is always political, art is always social, and always environmental. Meaning to say, it's just as short as art imitates life. Okay, art is life. It's always a reflection of our environment. As simple as that.
So, this is a follow-up question. Colonel, sino po ba ang inyong presidente?
You got to be kidding me.
Gago.
You mean from last election? From last election? Lenny.
So, makaleni po si Kuya Arnel L. So, next question is from Ainsley. Who or what motivates you in publishing and doing your work, and how do you define success as an artist?
What motivates me for doing my work? Money. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The well, I mean, it's always fulfilling to come up with interesting pieces. I mean, imagine this. Um, the, the 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 feeling of being a creator, right? To come up with something interesting, something that motivates others. To come up with a piece that people would really love, a piece that people would appreciate. I mean, it's just really fulfilling, not just to myself, but um, I think also fulfilling to the next keeper of this art pieces. Because in my case, um, I think I would define an artist's success based on how happy an artist with the piece that he came up with. Okay? So secondary na lang yung secondary na lang yung moment wherein you would see your art pieces hanged on someone else's wall. Okay? So if we will go back to the 1800s, 1600s, 1500s, wherein the purpose of art is to steal the rich people's wall, that's also something that I would consider as fulfillment for an artist. Because like for an artist like me, I mean, who came up from from the ground up with no connections at all, it's really fulfilling to see your work being hanged on someone else's walls. There.
So that's a good answer, Colonel. This next question is from Irene. What is the biggest challenge of being an artist, and why did you choose to be an artist?
What is the biggest challenge for being an artist? I think you can always start being an artist. It's just really a matter of how badly you wanted it. But sometimes, being an artist, you are, what do you call this, hindered by a lot of factors. And when it comes to these factors, there's just really a lot of factors. Well, you have your own needs as a person, right? So you have your bills to pay, you have your utilities and other expenses to consider. So those are just some of the challenges. I mean, sometimes you are considering to come up with something safe when it comes to the subject of your art pieces, in order for you to make sure that the end market would consider getting your pieces because it's a safe subject art pieces. But at the end of the day, you chose to be an artist because you really wanted to express yourself. Not just expressing yourself, but you also wanted to be that individual that can reflect the current status of our society. Not just our society, but also our environment. Because art is powerful. Art is a very powerful tool to communicate with other people.
So this is our last run, Mr. Arnel Natividad. So before we go, who would you like to share your social media accounts to them, so they will know where they can find you?
If you guys are interested to know more about my work, you guys can follow me on my social media accounts at Arhana Art. Thank you and have a great day.
So thank you, Colonel, for your time. Bye bye.
Ciao.
I have a greater understanding of the financial rewards and passion of an artist pursued after learning from the artist. But even so, from my own current viewpoint, the arts are a singular path toward mental and constructive objectives. However, some people actually interpret art differently from the rest for their own reasons.
As to follow, I've learned that inspiration were a big factor of art. I've realized that artists manage to click in my head about I want to be just like that. Make a name for myself to the industry whilst giving a notable identity that will speak volumes about who I am and what is me.
According to my understanding of what the artist said, all artists are unique in that they have always pursued their passion since they were young, but many constantly say that there is no money in art and no career in art and etc., discouraging artists from pursuing their love to be an artist. But he sees himself as I'm artist doing art.
My perspective on art is it has a molding situation where us people can practice and learn a lot. Continuously pursuing arts can help you to create a masterpiece that you'll never forget. Art can help you in many ways, financially, personally, and academically. It can improve your self-esteem to boost and to make yourself a developed one in terms of art. Art is always part of this world where we can utilize everything we see. Intrinsically, I view art as what my intuition says.
According to Mr. Arnell, everybody was born to be an artist. He said that he loved discovering new things when he was in high school. He also mentioned that art for him is a second nature and that the benefit that comes along with pursuing art was secondary. In conclusion, my appreciation to the artist is that he was able to pursue his passion even though he was raised in a poor family. He also said that art plays a major role when it comes to documenting how we evolved and developed, and I am amazed when he said that we cannot spell the word earth without art, meaning art is really part of this word.
Based on what I've learned from the artist said that they're born when their interest about art peaks past its limit. They're motivated to pursue that bubbling interest until they become what they initially got inspired by. Everyone has the ability to create art and express their intrinsic creativity in some way, but becoming an artist actually needs work, labor, and a practice of creation.
What I've learned from the artist is that circumstances acts like mold for people. While people are naturally prone to doing artworks, these molds shape the person's interests about art, in which it eventually leads artists or people nurturing it or tackling something else.
According to Mr. Arnel Natividad, everyone in the world is an artist, but in a different way. He said a small child that inspired him when he was young, and I think something is about to happen that will reveal what he wanted outside of his life. I know everything in this world serves a purpose, and art may make it for us to comprehend why, since art cannot start without a beginning, and if we don't try, we won't know. In order to achieve the happiness we want, we must always strive to accomplish our goals and understand what we really wanted for our life.
Pagod ka na ba? Ikaw, pre. Pagod ka na? Ikaw? Ainsley, ano ginawa mo? Ba't ka umuwi? Tumae? Ayun, tulog na nga.